What's up everyone, welcome to your sixth, I believe, After Effects tutorial. And in this tutorial we're going to be going over how to animate opacity or transparency, and also how to change the size of objects on an animation. So before I go over that, I just want to teach you guys a nifty little trick real quick. Before, when we were editing keyframes, we had to click on a keyframe like this, or we had to move the current time indicator, and that's how we edited the keyframe. But I didn't tell you guys about this right here. What this little nifty little box does is automatically go to the next keyframe. So whenever you're working with keyframes that are very close to each other, instead of trying to click it, then move a little bit, then click it a little bit more, you can just go ahead and move these little arrows and it'll automatically go to the next keyframe. And whenever this little box is yellow, then it means you're on a keyframe. But whenever it's gray like this, it means you're off a keyframe. So that's how you know when you're on and off keyframes. Another thing that you can do that's even easier than clicking these arrows is pressing J and K on your keyboard. When you press K, it automatically hops to the next keyframe, and J automatically hops back. Again, that's J, K. Just kidding. That's how you can remember it. So now that we learned how to navigate between our keyframes, I wanted to go over something fun, and that is how to make things fade in and out with After Effects. Now, when we wanted to edit the position of our animation, we highlighted our object in the composition panel, and we pressed P. Well, the shortcut for transparency is T. So go ahead and press T, and as you can see, your little thing that used to say position now changed to opacity. Again, they didn't name it. Never mind, I was just going to confuse you. I was going to say that even though you press T, it was opacity. That's because the O, they're already using that for something else. So remember, T is transparency. Don't press O for opacity, since it won't work. So go ahead and press T and move your current time indicator to the beginning of your animation. And remember, don't forget to do this. It's very important. Make sure you click this little stopwatch. This little stopwatch will make sure that you can make keyframes. If you don't have a click and you try to make keyframes, it won't work. So make sure that there's a box around the stopwatch. The first thing that you're going to want to do is make sure you're at home, and make sure you're on your first keyframe that's automatically created. Now, this little thing right here shows how opaque your object is. 0 being nothing at all, and 100 being completely solid. So since I want to fade this from nothing to something, I'm going to go to my first keyframe, and I'm going to put 0. And this is going to make, as you can see, my object disappeared. This is because my object is totally transparent, so all you can see is the background. Now, to make your next keyframe, go to about 3 seconds on your timeline, and you want to make another keyframe just by clicking on this and changing the value of it to something. So I'm going to change mine to 100 since I want it to fade in. And as you can see, when you move our current time indicator, Sammy the Sausage is now totally transparent, and he gradually fades in. And if you can look on here, you can see it gets gradually from 100 to 73 all the way down to 0. So let's watch Sammy in action as he fades in slowly. So again, to recap one last time, go to the beginning, change it to 0, go to your next keyframe, change it to 100, and that is how you make objects fade in and out in After Effects. So another thing I wanted to cover real quick is as you can see, this little here, let me get on that keyframe. When you hover over this, you can change values in 2 ways. A, as we did before, you can just click it and manually change values like 80, 100. But another thing that you can do is, as you can see, the little pointer cursor or whatever has two arrows on it. If you want, you can go ahead and click and drag the arrows to left or right. As you can see, once your pointer has two little arrows on it, looks like there's an arrow sticking through the finger actually, you can click and drag and this will automatically change your value. So if you want to fine tune it, this is a quick, easy way and you don't have to type it in manually. And this is called scrubbing. I don't know if you need to know that or not, but it's called scrubbing your values. When you click it and change the value of it, you can either type it in or scrub your value. So I actually am going to cover scale, make things shrink and grow in my next tutorial. So make sure you learn how to make things fade in and out, and make sure that you're using these keyframe shortcuts, and make sure that you know how to scrub your values. And once you learn all that, you can move on to my next tutorial where I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make things shrink and grow in After Effects. So thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.